Language Learning Series, Language Learning Secrets for Diplomats.
You know, for decades, the U.S. government has poured billions of dollars into perfecting one thing, a system to teach its diplomats a new language, and fast. Now, this isn't some flash-in-the-pan trend you see online. This is a battle-tested method that actually really works. So what's their secret? Let's break down the system that can turn almost anyone into a fluent speaker in record time.
Here it is. This is the core idea that changes everything. This system isn't about sitting down with flashcards or memorizing endless grammar rules. Nope. It's about bypassing that slow, analytical part of your brain and training an automatic response, a genuine language reflex. And this is not some newfangled idea. The Foreign Service Institute, or FSI, started developing this method way back in 1947. Just think about that for a second. That's over 75 years of refinement, of testing, and of getting real-world results.
And the scale we're talking about here is just staggering. Seriously, billions with a B. When a government invests that kind of money to perfect one single system, you know it has to be unbelievably effective. This is the real deal.
And the proof is in the pudding, right? Over 10,000 diplomats have been trained using this exact method. These are people who need to perform in some of the most demanding situations you can imagine. So how on earth does it actually work?
Well, it all starts with the foundation. The entire system is built on just two core principles that will probably change how you think about what it even means to learn a language.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Okay, on the left, you've got the traditional way most of us learn. You hear something, you translate it to your language, you understand it, you think of a reply, translate that back, and then, finally, you speak. It's slow, it's clunky. Now look at the right. That's the FSI goal. You hear and you react instantly. That is the language reflex in action.
So the second big principle is this. Language isn't just one giant monolithic skill. It's actually a collection of mini skills, all tailored to specific situations. Think of it like a map of scenarios. I mean, the way you talk when you order a coffee is totally different from how you talk in a business meeting, right? The FSI method is all about mastering these scenarios one by one.
And this story just illustrates the point brilliantly. It comes from someone whose son is bilingual, so at home the family speaks Chinese. But whenever the little boy plays with these magnetic tiles, the same kind he plays with at his English-speaking kindergarten, he automatically switches to English. His brain has literally mapped that one specific scenario directly to a language. That's the power of context.
Okay, so if those are the principles, what's the actual engine that builds the reflex? What's the how-to? It's a technique that sounds almost too simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's called the pattern drill. Think of this as weightlifting for your language muscles. A pattern drill takes one core sentence and then forces you to rapidly swap out a single piece of it over and over and over again. It's not about thinking, it's about doing. It's all about getting that automatic response through really intense, targeted repetition.
Let's walk through a quick example so you can feel how this works. Here's our base sentence. I don't have time to finish this tomorrow. Pretty simple, right? Now, just watch what we do with it.
Okay, drill 1. We swap the time. You'd repeat these out loud, fast. Finish this now. Finish this tonight. Finish this next week. Your mouth and your brain start to connect that core phrase automatically without even thinking about translating.
Next up, you'd swap the verb. To read this today, to write this today, to fix this today. You see what's happening? You're training your brain to see the sentence not as some rigid, fixed line of words, but as a flexible, adaptable pattern that you can use on the fly.
And finally, you do the same exact thing with the object. Finish my work. Finish the report. Finish this project. By doing this high-speed swapping, that underlying structure, I don't have time to, it gets absolutely burned into your brain as a tool you can just pull out and use without thinking.
So this all sounds amazing, doesn't it? But it definitely begs the question, if it's so effective, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, the truth is, trying to apply this hardcore method on your own comes with a couple of major hurdles.
There are really two main roadblocks for anyone trying this by themselves. First, you've got a lack of quality input. See, your drills are only as good as the sentences you use, and practicing "the cat is on the mat" 1,000 times isn't going to prepare you for a real conversation. And second, there's a lack of real stakes. A diplomat has to perform in 10 weeks. Most of us just have a vague New Year's resolution, which, let's be honest, makes it super easy to quit.
So what's the fix? You have to engineer your own environment. First, create real stakes for yourself. Book that flight for 3 months from now.
Pay for a course so you have actual skin in the game. You need a non-negotiable deadline. And second, find a system that has that high-quality, structured input. You need a program that's going to guide you through that map of scenarios, so you're not just wandering around in the dark.
Ultimately, this whole method really forces us to ask a fundamental question. Are you studying just to accumulate knowledge about a language, or is your real goal to step into a real-world scenario and actually use it instantly and confidently? Because the answer to that question, well, that changes everything.